You're back for more of Perry Mason here on BuzzChomp, and I'm reacting to the third episode. I'm Dan Salem, and basically, guilty as charged.
I'm Mandi.
I'm Dan.
Subscribe to
BuzzChomp.
Woo!
This mystery is unraveling in surprising and quite exciting ways on Perry Mason. I'm pleasantly surprised because the pilot felt very much like a pilot, and we were introduced to this kidnapping. Well, oh my goodness, the onion is just unraveling and stinking up a storm. But it all comes down to the fact that our dirty cops, which we mentioned at the very beginning, seem to be in full control of this mess, and therefore it's guilty as charged. First, it was the husband of the dead baby that was kidnapped who is guilty. Perry Mason, working with EB, the man's lawyer, hired by his bastard father from the church, who has a lot of money, got him off by showing that Emily, his wife, the mother of the dead baby / kidnapped baby, was having an affair with a man, and therefore it got the father off because they proved the father was out gambling and the mother was having a nefarious activity, and now the mother's the one in jail for the kidnapping gone wrong. All these people are being labeled guilty before any sort of evidence is even presenting itself. Mainly because the cops are fabricating the evidence they need to get the guilty verdict. They are taking Emily into a back room, beating her up till she writes a confession to do the things she didn't do. It is so dirty and so awful. That they're just, poor woman lost her child. We don't quite know how yet. We don't know if her lover was involved. We don't know if she was involved in the kidnapping. It seems like she wasn't. The fact of the matter is that her newborn child is dead. And yet she is going to go to jail for its death, when she had nothing to do with its death. I don't even know if her lover had anything to do with the death. That being said, Perry Mason is guilty because he's going above and beyond anything he's being paid to do. EB's paying him to get the Emily off. And Perry's saying go. He hired his partner to go do that crap, right? He's trying to track down the truth. And Detective Enos and Holcomb are the ones that are truly behind this mess. They're covering it all up, covering all their bases, right? Ennis shot the two kidnappers and then watched the third one fall to his death off the roof. Then he took the dead guy from the alley, brought him back to his house, and shot a shotgun blast up into his head to make it look like a suicide. That was Emily's lover. And we know that because Perry connects the piece of denture that the beat cop gave him to the dead body, which he went and dug up at the morgue. It appears as though Emily's lover is guilty, but not being charged. Or they are charging him, but he's dead, so it really doesn't matter. They're just trying to sweep this whole mess away, the dang city of LA. Nothing changes. Nothing ever changes. So Emily's lover, via the dentures, was connected to the kidnappers. He was there with the two kidnappers, the Polish kidnappers, I suppose, that they identified. That's as much information as we have about them. In that room. They open the suitcase, there's no money. Where'd the money go? The cop, Ennis, shows up, kills them. There's burned money at the lover's house and a fake suicide. The cops must have taken 75-80% of this money. And I gotta believe it came from the church. But was the church blackmailing itself? Or the church involved? I thought that the church was going to be one of the bad guys of this story. And I'm not convinced that they aren't still. The lead preacher, she's just kind of like very much altruistic, and I kind of thought she'd be evil. But her mother appears evil. I'm marking her guilty as charged because she is pushing her daughter to do things she doesn't feel comfortable. She's criticizing her when she's standing up for Emily, going to see her in the prison. And there's more nefarious activities going on there. Like the police are at every one of those church services. This is not a coincidence. Ennis and Holcomb are bad, dirty detectives, right? Dirty cops, as I labeled them. But they cannot possibly be the masterminds of this plan. There's more going on here. It wouldn't surprise me if Matthew, who's the husband of Emily, his father, who we didn't know was a father until last episode because it was bastard, is the one that concocted the kidnapping with Emily's lover to separate the two from the marriage, and then it all went to hell, and he provided the money, and then the cops went and took it back. This is a mess. And it's going to sort itself out. But that's what makes the show so cool, because the mystery is just oozing. Apparently, the man who hired Perry, EB the lawyer, is also guilty, as he got fired. And he's got a dirty past that is coming back to haunt him and is not letting him get anywhere in the courtroom or even on this case. Perry wants to solve this case, but now he doesn't have anybody paying for him because EB got fired by the same people that are the family of the dead baby and who I think are connected to the kidnapping in the first place and the circle of money that probably never disappeared at all. The true wild card here is the leader of the church, the woman who stands up on Sundays and preaches, because we saw her like pass out in the boat, and it seems to be she has some health issues, but she said God spoke to her and she was going to resurrect this dead baby. I don't exactly know what she meant. I think it was kind of more metaphorical instead of literal. But even if it's a metaphor, she's going to help crack this case for Perry Mason. She wants to bring justice for Emily, and yet Emily is currently guilty as charged. So it's all going to blow back. Some characters have kind of disappeared from the show. Perry had a run-in with the studio head. I think that was more just a setup for the pilot. They haven't come back at all. I love that the woman who owns the airplane runway that his dairy farm sits beside, that relationship is building, and like he likes her, but I don't know like where that's going. I just like that she's there. It kind of grounds him, because otherwise he's a guilty, dirty detective of his own right. He has a soft side. He is attempting to better himself, but he says that God left him over in World War I, over in Europe. I know why he feels that way, but he's got to get Emily off. There's nobody that's going to get Emily off unless it's Perry Mason, and she's been guilty as charged, and it's not right, because she didn't necessarily do anything except have an affair, and her husband was not really a good husband, so I mean, can you blame her? I'm very curious whose baby that dead baby is. Is it Matthew's? Is it the lover's? That is a huge wrinkle that will have a factor in who actually did it. But we're not going to find out till the very end of the season who done it, and I'm not sure that it's going to be anybody we think, or it's going to be so straightforward, but then there's all these side wrinkles that make it a mess. I mean, every time we think we know something, it's proven to be a lie, or it's only a half-truth. And that's what makes Perry Mason so exciting, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. Emily was guilty as charged in this most recent episode, among others. Someone else is going to get guilty this next episode. I have a feeling we're going to get some new deaths. This show is gritty and gruesome. I mean, they're digging up dead bodies, pulling them apart. It's just very raw, and that's what I love about it. I'm Dan Salem. Subscribe to the BuzzChomp YouTube channel for more Perry Mason and other great television. And comment below, have you cracked this mystery? Because I really have no idea right now who did it or who will do it. Woo!
Thanks for watching BuzzChomp.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share.
Share.
Woo!